Ever wondered how to create perfectly adjustable animations using expressions? In my last video, I broke down the numbers behind an expressions equations. And part of that was comp.RenderEnd. But what exactly does it do and why is it so important? In this video, I'm going to break it all down and show you how to use it effectively. Let's dive right in. Okay, heading straight to the computer. We are going to try to make this quick and easy. Like I said in my intro, we are going to focus specifically on comp.RenderEnd, but we are also going to use that equation that we used in our last video. Before we get to that equations, let's get a simple equation on how to use comp.RenderEnd. So in this instance, I'm going to use the transform node and we are going to use the angle just to explain it in the most simple form. All right, so we are going to head to the merge here and we are going to add transform node. All right, so we are adding transform node here so that way we are going to affect everything we have done previously. So we got the angle here. If I turn this angle around, you see what that does. It simply turns it around. Okay, and we know a complete turn is a 360. And let us see how the length of our composition here is. So it has 119 frame in this composition. All right, so the last frame is 119. Let's head to angles since we're talking about equations. Right click on angle and hit expressions. We know the total numbers of frame is 119. And in degree, we are trying to find the degree given each frame. So let's say I wanted to find a degree here. We are going to use whatever time it is divided by the total number of frames, which is the time here, times 360. So let's pick something here. Let's pick 15. If I use 15 divided by 119 times 360, let's see what that will give us. So that will give us about 45 degrees, but it's like 45.38. Well, let's say 45 degrees, okay? Let's just put that degree right now, 45 degrees. So if I put 45 degrees, that's 45 degrees. And so what that means is if I do that equations and whenever I plug in my equations and I get to frame 15, the angle should be around 45 degrees. Okay. So like what I did is just to show you how the computer gets these numbers. Okay. But if we're going to use expressions, we're not just going to put in 45 degrees. Let us write an expressions here, but we are going to use it in a general form so that way every frame is affected. That means whatever the time is going to affect the degree. Okay, so first we are going to use the last frame. Okay, since we know the last frame is 119, we are going to do time divided by 119. I'm going to close bracket and we're going to multiply that by 360. Boom. All right, so now if we play it, okay, the computer is kind of slow. Let me just use my thing. If you play it, it's going to, as you can see, it goes straight around when we play it perfectly. But if I head to the media page right now, and let's say I copy this, and I go over here and I increase the length, okay, and let's head back to Fusion. Now that calculation is no longer perfect because the length is not the same. Okay, so as you can see, it went way over 360. The numbers is just different. Okay, so if you want to get the perfect number for this one, we use a different number. So let's head back. Okay, so let's delete this. This is why we are using comp.RenderEnd for these equations. Since we know this is the last frame and comp.RenderEnd is always referring to the last frame no matter the size. Okay, so we are going to take out this 119 and we are going to replace it with comp.RenderEnd. end. Okay, and it's still going to be the same. The computer is kind of slow today. I don't know why. Okay, so it completes the 360 rotations. All right, so now if we go back and if we copy this and let's increase this now, it does no longer matter how long or how short this is. It's going to always complete that rotation in that manner. Okay, so I didn't put P, so all right, I'm gonna put P. Again, guys, just make sure you always spell this right. Okay, so let's go back here and put P again. Spelling is at the utmost importance. Okay, enter. All right, so let's head back to the long ones. All right, so now if we get back to the elongated composition, it's still going to take just 360. Boom. Okay, no matter how long or how short the composition is. So this is why we use comp.RenderEnd. So that way it's always referring to the last frame instead of using the numbers. Okay, so now let's head back to the equation that I used in my last video. I believe it's in transform. Is it this one? No, not this one. I believe it's this one. All right. So I'm not going to go over if time is more than 8 point blah blah blah. We did that in my previous video, so you could go and check it out. Okay, it should be somewhere in the screen and it should click somewhere, I think left or right. I don't know exactly where, and I'm going to put it in the description below. Anywho, let's go to that comp.RenderEnd part. All right, now we know what comp.RenderEnd is referring to. It's always referring to the last frame. But here we use comp.RenderEnd -9. That's just common sense at this point. Comp.RenderEnd -9, meaning the last frame -9. That's just what it means. Let's head back to the short one. Let's go back here. This is the one we used in our previous video. Let's head to transform. So here, comp.RenderEnd -9. What does that mean? It simply means 119, because 119 is the last frame. Let's head to the last frame. 119 -9. That's going to give us 110. And in this formula, I put if time is more than 110. I could literally substitute comp.RenderEnd -9 to 110. So if time is more than frame 110, then 0.5, 0.5 plus time minus. Now we could also plug in that 110 here. Okay, comp.RenderEnd -9. Okay, so that's how we got those numbers. That's why we use comp.RenderEnd instead of using 110. We could have used 110 here. Let's say if time was, let's say 112, this formula means 112 minus 110, which is going to be like 2, then 2 multiplied by 0.05 according to these equations. So if time is here, the position is going to be 2 times 0.05. But if time is at, let's say 113, which is 1 frame forward, then it's going to be 3 times 0.05. So same with 4, same with 5. So 4 times 0.05. So as you can see, when you multiply 2 by 0.05 and multiply 3 by 0.05, it's going to keep increasing, keep increasing, keep increasing. So that's why it's increasing by that rate. The rate by which it is increasing is 0.05. Okay, multiply 2, increase, multiply 3 is going to increase, 4 is going to increase, so forth and so on. Voila, that is what is going on. But the thing is, if you use keyframe, you don't really need to know this, because keyframes does it automatically. It's like using a calculator. All right. However, if you want to use expressions, you need to understand this, so that way you could write expressions easier. All right, so I believe I've explained how to use comp.RenderEnd effectively here. And you could come up in your own way how to use comp.RenderEnd. With that being said, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to know when we are going to drop videos. And don't forget to hit that notification button. Peace.